Jeremy Monga, we got our first sight of him as a Blue since he signed in the summer. 11 changes in all the goals in the first half. Ait Nouri, Reijnders and Mubama with the goals for the Blues. And even Gianluigi Donnarumma was given a breather as we got our first look at Marcus Bettinelli when he came on at half-time. I suspect it'll be a little bit more intense on Sunday against Atletico Madrid, but having said that, the temperatures again will be hot and humid, so again they will play their part. But as for the second game here on the Far East Tour, having taken on for the very first time the K-League All-Stars, City have won by 3 goals to 1. Well, let's go back to the studio and we can hear the thoughts of Michael Brown, of Nicky Weaver, all in the company of Cel Spellman.
Welcome back to Match Day Live. Thank you so much to Alistair Mann and Clive for their commentary on our second pre-season game, part of our Asia tour in Seoul, South Korea. And Manchester City have come out on top. It finished at full-time Manchester City 3, the K-League All-Stars 1. All the goals coming in the first half. A wholesale have changed in the second half. 11 in total in that second half. So lots of run-outs for different players. Nicky Weaver and Michael Brown alongside me in the studio. Michael Brown, second half, a lot of changes. It kind of does, I guess, disrupt the flow a little bit, but lots of minutes in legs for players. Mateus Nunes coming on, and not for want of trying as well. You could probably say that the K-League All-Stars goalkeeper was maybe man of the match for that second half.
He did a few saves, didn't he? 5 or 6. So that just tells you that there was still creativity, still a positivity about the team, creating opportunities, and a good opportunity for different players to get a run out. It did sort of ruin the game a little bit, and I understand there's still a bit of run out, but regards to us wanting to see a flow, wanting to see a bit more of sort of structure and something exciting, it did die, didn't it, because of it. But overall, I think you've got to take a lot of positives from it. We've talked about different players getting minutes, a manager trying to find a system and show you some beliefs in what he's going to deliver. But I think he'll be pleased to see what he's just witnessed. But still a lot of work to do. I think it's a typical pre-season game. We're not to look too much into it.
No, I guess we don't, as well as we saw, you know, lots of young players got to make an appearance. There was a few as well that we'd all touted a little bit beforehand. You know, Braden and Georgina mentioned. Nicky, how invaluable is it, even just whether, you know, they end up staying with the first team or not, to see the likes of those younger players? I mean, Fooney, Jeremy Monga, Echeverri, Heskey, they were all getting in the squad, and it was also a chance to impress.
Yeah, it's vital, not just for the games as well, but to see how the senior players conduct themselves on a trip, around the hotel, the build-up to a match, the recovery after a match. So it's not just the actual 90 minutes. There's a lot more going on when you go on a trip than that. And the first-team staff, the manager, get to look at how they conduct themselves, how hard they work, how focused they are. And yeah, the game, it did get a little bit disjointed second half, but it's great for those guys to get minutes. Obviously, it was a full 11 change by the end of the second half. So yeah, everyone's got minutes. We've won the game. We've got 3 goals. So, you know, hopefully there's been no injuries. So I think, yeah, it's been a good exercise and one they can move on for. I'm sure it'll be a tougher test at the weekend against Atletico, a bit more of a realistic game, because let's not forget the opposition as well. It's a real big show game for them, and they wouldn't, towards the end, perhaps when they was tiring, probably didn't really want to dig in, as you know, and push the bodies and get injured or anything like that. So yeah, I think it was a good exercise, but like Brownie said, a typical pre-season game, really.
It is indeed. Well, let's get the thoughts of Scott Carson, FG, and Shaun Wright-Phillips.
Thank you very much, Kel. As you can see, we've got a brand new location here. Hopefully there won't be any sweat pouring from my head. Me, Scott and Shaun here. Full-time result. First win for Enzo Maresca. Good performance. Job done, Scott?
Yeah, it was, yeah. I think the first half got the job done. The second half obviously was really comfortable. Quite a lot of changes, and in the end it was a typical pre-season game, wasn't it?
Yeah, typical pre-season game indeed. It was nice to see the likes of Nunes returning as well. He wore the captain's armband at one point. Minutes for him, 30 minutes precisely. I mean, he's getting closer, isn't he, to fitness, ready for that Community Shield game.
Yeah, of course, man. And it's honestly, like Scotty said, in pre-season, you're you're just dying to get on the pitch. You're trying to get as many minutes under your belt as possible, trying to stay fit, trying to get that running power back in your legs. And all the players for me that came on at that time, just before the water break, did really, really well in terms of handling the condition, trying to still go forward and make things happen.
Interestingly enough, you're probably wondering why this location. Well, of course, Scott Carson is stood right here where all the players will be walking past. Scott, how many players do you think are going to acknowledge you as they walk past you, knowing that the camera's on?
If they see the cameras on, then probably everyone will try to have a little laugh and little joke, but thankfully we haven't seen anyone yet. They're probably going to start coming in any time.
Oh no, we'll keep going, Sean, won't we, until all the players have gone past us, just to make sure. One more question. We've got one more game here, out here in Seoul. That the heat is quite something. What changes over the next few days for this group of players? I mean, they would have factored in the heat, of course, but I don't think they would have factored in it was going to be the hottest in 100 years in Seoul.
They definitely wouldn't have factored that in. But do you know what, FG? Like, we will be more used to it than Atletico now, because they're going to come and they have to get used to it. We've already played a game in it. We know what it takes and how much it takes you out of your legs if you do take risk and it doesn't pay off and you have to run 40 yards back. So that's something they're going to have to adapt to, where we should be already there.
I mean, with that being said, on the topic of the heat, how much benefit does that do for you in terms of your training for pre-season? When you're in a hotter climate, of course, we're going to, head back to the Community Shield. The weather won't be as hot, albeit it could still be some form of a heat wave there. But is that going to really help the players with preparation? Is that why teams normally go to hotter climates? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, you can feel the humidity. It's there's obviously less oxygen in the air, and it's harder to breathe. And you can see how much the lads are working, and probably working a lot harder than they would normally have to, just because of that air. But it is probably the main reason why a lot of teams do travel far to go to pre-season, is to obviously get that little bit extra into the lungs of the players, and hopefully they come back a lot fitter than they left.
And Jeremy Mongo, we've spoken a lot about him. He finally got minutes and he looked really, really sharp in some moments, didn't he, Sean? What impressed you the most about him, and how much of a star have Manchester City managed to acquire?
From what I saw just there, those little phases and the little quick feet, it looks like he's going to be a fantastic player. But there was, me and Scotty was watching, I think he did a little Doku snake hips and came inside and tried to it was just an interesting conversation that we was having, because we got 3 fantastic wingers, all right-footed, that play on the left. And it's like, whoever's playing the best, we've got a lot good to choose from right now.
What was the name of that skill you just said?
Snake hips.
the snake hips.
That'll be his nickname on Strictly, Snake Hips.
I tell you what, we will have to look out for the Strictly snake hips for sure. The Doku snake hips. On the other side, Savinho as well towards the end. He looked really, really positive, didn't he? Coming on and then killed a shot which was saved really well. And then from that chance, the man who's actually just walking behind us, Echeverry, it's a great effort just wide of the post.
Yeah, I think that's probably the one biggest thing that's impressed me the most the last 2 games, is how the wingers have been so high, wide and direct, and not just trying to get the ball on the touchline to feet. They're looking to run in behind, and it's another dimension, and I'm sure it's one that Enzo's drilled into them, that you don't just have to get the ball to feet, you have to look in behind. And every time we did that, first half, second half, we looked really dangerous.
We'll just bring in a man who looks like he's just had a shower out there. Nico.
Oh, Nico, okay.
Congratulations, mate, on the win, first and foremost. Enzo Maresca's first win. How was it out there? Because, I mean, you look like you've definitely done a workout.
Yeah.
You did a lot of running. You didn't stop running.
No, it's been tough. It was so hot. I think I've never played like in these conditions. I'm honest, and I've played in Spain for a couple of years, and in the summer it was hot, but like this, never.
Have you ever played in conditions like this or come off the pitch looking how Nico looks?
Yeah, in Arizona. Arizona gets to this heat, but you don't have the humidity. It's very dry.
Okay. What's been different then about this summer, this pre-season under Enzo Maresca? Because we're seeing a lot of different rotations, of course, as expected in the weather. But what's been the main thing for you to take?
Well, for me in particular, or for the team?
Well, both. You can answer both, yeah.
No, I think for the team, the structure, I think everyone can tell that it's quite different. As last year, we played a few games like this. Like, for example, I remember Villarreal, that we played in Champions League with John and me inside with 3+2, but normally we didn't used to play this way. Personally, well, I think it's the same. Last year, when I used to play, I was playing alone in the midfield, and now I have someone always next to me.
Always to make the combinations, you mean, in the midfield. Scott, would you like to ask Nico a question?
No, I think the biggest, like we just said, the biggest thing that I've seen is how, I don't know if it's one thing that Enzo said, that he wants his wingers to be a little bit more higher than normal and be a lot more direct, and especially from what I've seen the last 2 games is they're looking to run in behind and get the ball not just to feet, in behind the defensive line.
Yeah, I think the idea is clear. I mean, we try to arrive to the wingers, and then we have a lot of quality in the wingers, so they can do a 1v1 all the time. And yeah, I think the main idea is the same. At the end, we want to win the ball back as quick as possible and have the ball. And then there's some things that
I tried.
Now there's some things that change, but the main idea is it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and last thing as well, this Asia tour, how have you found it? Because the support's been amazing. There's always fans pretty much everywhere you go. What have you made of it?
Yeah, I don't understand how they can support us as much here in the other part of the world, but it's so nice to feel this connected to Asia, to all the fans here. And yeah, obviously the conditions are difficult, but I mean, if you go to Spain now, where I'm from, to play, it's gonna be the same. So yeah, it's really nice to feel this close to all of the fans.
Well, listen, Nico, we'll let you go, mate. I mean, you've earned a well-deserved shower there as well, and some hydration. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mate. We'll let you head back in. I'll take that from you. That was Nico Gonzalez live on Matchday Live. I was really impressed with that, Scott, the way he speaks, and you can tell he's enjoying it a lot as well.
Yeah, he's a top man. He reminds me a little bit of Ruben, his mentality when he come in, and he's just in the gym, wants to improve. He's always doing extras, and obviously it was a little bit of a difficult start when he first came in, but he just grew and grew, and you can see now every time he comes on or he starts, he's so comfortable, and he's a top player.
Yeah, he's a top player indeed. I mean, we're seeing some of our players walk past us again. And what about this man? 60 minutes for Rico Lewis today. And also a debut for Bettinelli as well. Not bad at all. We can see him behind us. They seem to be taking everything in their stride here, Scott. I mean, the heat was quite something, but one thing we're noticing is everyone's smiling. I mean, it's a debut for Betts as well. We absolutely love it. Clean sheet first half. Congratulations, mate. A word on that kit, by the way, goalkeeper kit. Where does that rank, Scott, in goalkeeper kits you've seen?
I like it, to be fair. I'm normally just a plain black, plain and simple, but you know what it's like these days, the fashion, and someone gets hold of them, but look, if you're a goalkeeper, you just got to keep the ball out the net. Doesn't matter what kit you're in.
Doesn't look like pyjamas or anything like.
No, there won't be any stripy kits, I don't think, for a while.
I mean, look. Do I look like I'm wearing pyjamas? Yes or no answer?
Yes.
Brilliant. Right. Well, I tried very hard to get some support there, but it didn't work. Listen, we're going to head back to our studio for now in Manchester. It's been an absolute pleasure. Cheers, Scott. Cheers, Shaun.
Thank you.
Over to you guys. Don't ask Brownie what he thinks as well.
I think I absolutely will ask Brownie what he thinks. Brown, what do you think?
I've already messaged him about the stripes, haven't I, already? He's just going to keep it simple, but he loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I tell you what thing that's really good about him, he's not mentioned the heat or the humidity.
Yeah. Very normal conditions over there, I think.
More than 100 times, it's probably like 90. There was a bit of a game going on, but he was getting carried away. You see his little high fives. He
loves it, don't he?
He's going, come on, lads, be my friend.
We do want to actually, we're going to get that, maybe try and get that tallied up for the show the weekend.
Really good idea.
How many times did FG mention the heat? Anything to do with the weather? Word on the goalkeeper kit from you, Nicky.
Yeah, again, going back to FG's club, top half okay, bottom half a little bit suspect, but yeah, the goalkeeping kit, not a fan.
Not a fan.
We mentioned it during the game. Yeah, just a bit more like Scott there, just nice and plain. Got the best goalie in the world, so we don't need to draw more attention to him.
We're hoping to hear from Enzo in just a little bit. And you mentioned there, Michael Brown, quite telling. It was a great interview from Nico Gonzalez, actually, echoing what FG said. I thought he spoke really well. I thought he made a massive difference when he came on in the second half in the first game. Came on again in the second half. What did you make of his performance? But also, he seemed telling one of the things that maybe we might see a bit more of his a two in midfield, possibly.
Well, that's been the talking point, hasn't it? Elliot Anderson coming in, Rodri. How did they both play? Can they play in the same team? He said he's not on his own. He's going to be as a two there, Nico. Whether he was different to Pep being in a one. And I was telling you just before, I was with Roberto Martinez when I was at Wigan, and whether he had kept the two wide players high, then how do you get screen on with your fullbacks? How do you go and help them? But if I'm in a two-man midfield, that allows one of us to get across
and the other one
if
to stay.
Needed,
yeah.
And the other one to stay. So that's another option if you want to do that. It's about transition. Then you've got a diagonal pass really quickly. We know Mark Gay can hit that. Do you know, that long one we've seen John Stones do it. But then you've got the 1v1s. Can it be in behind? Can it be little situation? The quicker you do it, they can't get a double on for you. So it's all, it's all little different options. But for me, I've played in that role where you've had to get across. And it's a long way, by the way. John, transition's fast. I've got to get right across and help my fullback. If someone in the midfield area, next one shuffles over. And it's just a bit of something different to have some protection. Now, we see how they jump into a three quite often, as you mentioned, a three and then a two in front. So lots of ways. You've got to be flexible. Different games won't allow that particular formation. But I have done it before, as I said. But that's probably the one twist from Pep Guardiola, not having a single number 6. So let's watch this space on it.
And on the attacking side, we can actually hear from Semenyo, obviously talking about the slight differences between Pep. He was speaking to the host broadcaster and kind of what you said. I think about talking about staying high and wide.
I think with Pep, it was a lot of the ball inside, working different patterns. But with Enzo now, it's staying high and wide, getting 1v1 situations and being able to express myself and create chances. So, yeah, both very similar but very different.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's similar and different, and that would then answer, as you said, to the two. Is there anything else, Nicky, you've noticed? As I say, it's not. There's a few maybe patterns that they're trying, but a lot of it is what's fits. But yeah, anything else that you kind of maybe?
No, it's difficult to say with a bit of a disjointed team as well. But I think what Brownie said there with the two, obviously Nico there mentioned it, and it's almost that's what it wants to do. As Pep always played the one, and there's going to be those subtle changes, but I don't think the actual style. So maybe slightly different positionally, but I don't know formation-wise. But I don't think the actual style. Still try and play out through the back, through the thirds. Try and get it wide. If he wants them to stay even wider, then that creates more space because their back lines then got to spread out more.
Yes.
So yeah, obviously Pep wanted them to come inside a little bit and try and be a bit more aggressive that way. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see when the team's properly settled after the first 2 or 3 Premier League games to say exactly how he's going to line up.
I think the difference with that is, to say, is when you're creating a quick transition, so the 1v1, so Semenyo goes all the way down the line, you've got your opposite one making the box, you've got your striker, you might have a midfield runner on the 10 going as well. On transition, when it's lost, you leave yourself open. So have we got the defence to cope with it?
Yes.
At times when you look, that's the one thing Pep didn't want, is no control on transition. So what he said is right. Yes, we don't always have that unless we're chasing late on. Because what I'm going to do is I feel like over the course of the game, I will be able to
move across,
break through. But who wants to listen to me when we've got
listen to Enzo?
Yeah, tell us how it goes.
I'll come back to you, Michael.
I'd love to ask the first question, but there's been a man who's been planning a question ever since you noticed he didn't ask you a question.
I'm a little bit worried.
Over to you, Scott.
They've took me a while to prepare these. I've prepared these for a while. I'll start with the one that took me the longest. Enzo, what's it like to get your first win tonight?
Oh, it's a nice feeling, but the most important thing now is is to see that the things that we are trying since day one, they made the effort to try that, and this is important. Then for sure to win the game, it's always important.
I think me and Wrighty's been really impressed with the wingers, weren't we?
Yeah, I've personally been very impressed with it. Have you asked them to stay a little bit higher and wider in possessions in terms of getting ourselves in better one-on-one positions?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the time, you do the right things when you build up, and then you need, in the last third, good position, and especially you need a good player wide, Semenyo, Xavi, the ones that we have, that they can go 1v1 and try to create some chances.
I wanted to ask you, Enzo, as well about our forwards. Divine Mubama, of course, 2 goals in 2 games. He seems to be in the right place at the right time. And then Omar came on as well and was really positive. Yeah. Could have had a goal himself. Firstly, what have you made of Divine and his pre-season so far? He seems to be really enjoying it.
Yeah, as you said, he scored 2 goals in both games. He's enjoying the day by day. And he's one of the young players that we have. And we try to use him in the best way.
What does tomorrow look like for this group of players? Is it just simply recovery, a lot of rehydration for them? Because the weather out there, we interviewed Nico before and it looked like he'd had a shower out there.
Yeah, very complete. Even for them that, they used to play with this condition, even for them was quite difficult. And now for tomorrow it's time to recovery and Sunday will be the last game.
So far, how's it been so far whilst you've been in Seoul as well? Because I mean, the guys have been really enjoying themselves. The fans are another
I can imagine.
Another level. I was talking about the professional side, of course. How's it been for you and for your players so far?
No, yeah, we just so we arrived yesterday to prepare today's game. Now we have another one in 2 days. But since we landed yesterday, was very very nice feeling. Lots of fans there. So yeah, happy.
Listen, before we let you go, I mean, I'm just wondering if you've got a comment on our 2 amazing pundits now. Scott's now, his question, what would you rate it out of 10?
9.
9 out of 10. It's not bad from the boss. Thank you very much for your time.
Some beer for me after.
Thank you very much for your time, Enzo. Sure. Congratulations on the first win. We'll head back to our studio. 9 out of 10, Scott. Not bad at all.
We'll take it.
We love to see it. 9 out of 10 for Scott Carson. Come on, Scott. And I think we all smile when I think they probably have been enjoying themselves out in Seoul professionally.
I think they might
and
be.
Also, maybe when the cameras aren't rolling,
I think there might be. What we need is a screenshot of Scott's questions. What was number 2, 3 and 4?
Yes.
I don't think you've got that far, Brownie.
I don't know. I've seen the black writing.
There was a few more on there. Maybe they'll come out in the Atletico game.
No, FG will have a little screenshot of that, don't you?
Let's bring in Georgina and Braden. They've been with us throughout the build-up today and the game. Great to welcome you back on at full time. Georgina, we were hoping to see a lot of our young players, and come that second half, it was 11 changes by the full-time whistle. Who stood out to you, and how much did you enjoy seeing of our academy products there in the game?
Well, I enjoyed the second half immensely. I mean, of course, there were a lot of changes, but I think that comes with the humidity, not to mention it again. But one player that really did stick out for me is Heskey, and I feel like we haven't really mentioned him or talked about him in the second half. But I think as a young player coming into the side with established players already on the pitch, for him to not only slot in seamlessly but also stand out, I think is a really significant achievement for him, and I think he played really well.
Braden, as well, and I know this is kind of something as fans, that's something we all crave, isn't it? We follow the academy. If you subscribe to City Plus, you'll probably be well across it because you can watch all the games on there. But who stood out for you as well? Jeremy Monga finally got on the pitch as well. I know that was one you mentioned, Braden.
Yeah, Jeremy Monga looked really, really confident. I said he looked like he'd been playing for ages in that team. He was dead positive going forward. I think confident would be the word. Mubama, as we keep mentioning, Marmoush obviously came on at the end. It'll be interesting to see who starts against Atletico Madrid, because obviously Mubama's played so well, but Marmoush is now back. I think the defenders, Fooney, when he came on, and Elaine as well, 2 solid choices there. And then, of course, the goalie, Marcus Bettinelli, coming off the bench, making an appearance. Yeah. I was delighted to see that. I like Marcus. But yeah, it was good to see the younger players get a good run out. And I don't know what Maresca will do next time, if he'll try and stick with the main starting 11 and the main kind of squad players, or if he'll do the same again, because I think obviously Atletico Madrid will be a harder game. But yeah, it was great to see them all come off the bench. Heskey as well, as we mentioned. Just positive overall, and a good first win for Enzo.
And Georgina, I mean, a question for you both. Obviously, we're under the Maresca era now, and that's his first win, which I think is always important to point out. What did you make of us bringing in Maresca? And obviously, as I say, pre-season, but what have you made of him so far, even when you're listening to him speak and the teams that he's been setting up?
I think as a Man City fan, we've not had anything new in a while, which is a very privileged position to be in. Yeah. We've pretty much won everything. We've broken every record there is. So it's really nice and refreshing, I think, to have someone that's new, bringing in some new tactics into the side. And I've really enjoyed him so far. I think in that interview as well, with FG, then he's really opened up and he's shown a bit of his personality, a bit of his fun side that sometimes we don't get to see when he's in that serious managerial role. So yeah, I'm really excited for the era, and I think it's going to be good.
I couldn't agree more. Braden, just a little zhuzh up of the hair there as well, looking mighty fresh, my friend. Don't worry. We had the interview as well from Nico and Enzo. What were your thoughts on what was discussed as well with the lads over in Seoul?
Yeah, it was just the same as what Michael was saying before. I think it will be interesting when Anderson comes in to see who plays where and if they will stick with the two. It looks like they will. I'm a big fan of Nico Gonzalez as well. I think if he played consistently, obviously it's very difficult when you've got Rodri and Anderson as your competition. But if he played consistently, I think he'd hit those levels as well. I think Nico Gonzalez is a really good player. And I'm just excited for the season to start. Of course, we've got one more game and then the Community Shield. But yeah, I think Nico Gonzalez is a really good player. And if he played more, and if maybe Maresca gives him the minutes, I think he'll definitely improve and he can only get better, really.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, a position, what do you make of Nico Gonzalez, his time at City so far, and does it create new opportunities if we do opt to maybe play two in that kind of six role rather than just the one? Because obviously when Rodri's there, it's the Ballon d'Or winner.
Well, I think it was a slow start for him, wasn't it? And then ultimately you've got to learn your way, get some minutes. You're obviously going to be a backup, and never really felt like the manager had the confidence. Then the injuries came, and all of a sudden we've seen the better side of him. He developed, he got better. The role is tough.
Yeah.
For a Pep Guardiola sort of holding midfield player. You leave the space, is it too early, is it not? Do you take the ball on? Are you the link-up play? Are you the bounce that starts it? There's a lot of things to go with it, and the cover and balancing it off, and I think he finally got there. A couple of strikes as well. We've seen a long ranger. And I think he's just grown to enjoy it. And playing in this team, ultimately, he will get better. Is he the level of Rodri? No. We know that already because nobody is. That is the problem. So is there a space in there? That's something that where he's going to be up against it. I think that's the point of it. But can he contribute over a season? I still think we're going to need him. He's going to be a very valuable member to the squad.
For sure. But it is a role that you can grow into, because I remember when Fernandinho left, people were questioning, could Rodri fill that role?
Yeah.
And it took him a little while, and he did. So, it is something you can grow into. It has been difficult for him because he's been a little bit stop-start, a little bit in and out. Towards the back end of last season, more out than in. So it's really difficult when you're not playing. As Braden said, you need to play regular to get that consistency. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And it might, with the manager not sort of picking him too much toward the back end of last season, might give him a new lease of life with a new manager coming in.
And I wanted to pick up on something we spoke about before, and it was kind of mentioned by Semenyo in the interview about, obviously, similarities maybe to how they used to play in under Pep, but differences as well. Maresca putting his own spin on it. As a player, does it make... I mean, we've seen transitions at other clubs from managers to other managers not go as smoothly, and some particularly close to home going really badly. But does it feel like... does it help players the fact that it's within the realms of what they know, but just a little bit different for the transition into a new manager?
Well, we've seen that Jeremy Doku was pretty much free to go and do what he wanted. He'd earned that right, and full well at 1v1, you take a chance with him. Others, particularly, we've seen a Grealish that's come inside. We've seen a Riyad Mahrez at times had to drift in, whether it be on that left foot. Semenyo's come in and done it a little bit and drifted in and around. So there's not many who've had free rein. Remember what Leroy Sané used to do. I think that's what we're talking about. He'd dart down the line. We know it's coming in. If you lose it, you lose it. We balance off and cover.
Yeah.
So if we're going to accept that, if I'm a wide player, they're going, yes, please, I'm quick. I'll go 1v1. I'm free to do it. The manager's not going to shout at me if I get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying all day long I'd like to play in that position. Why did Pep do it? Because it was all about structure, all about breaking it down, not giving that goal away, and that's why he was so good. It's fascinating, he's amazing. Enzo Maresca might say, right, we're going to take a little bit more risk. I know I'm going to get done that way, but how can I sort that out? If I've got another midfielder, that's going to help it, so it's different. And that's all we're seeing, really. But it's not going to be like they're just going to go, right, as soon as you get the ball, it's go, 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 go. It's going to be within time. They'll come inside, they'll join in. You'll see one sort of come in and be like a number 10, bounce pass off Erling or whatever. So there's lots of ways.
To echo what Brownie said there, that's where I think Kushinov's then really important on the back line, to be that covering defender who's got genuine pace, as Kyle Walker used to get yourself out of trouble. So you can leave it a little bit bare at the back when you've got people with genuine pace.
Just mentioning Kusanov as well, he's one of our, we'll talk about, new signings in a little bit. There's been talk of maybe a few more to still come in, maybe with a bit more experience. But I think it's sometimes easy to forget new contracts as well, and how important it is, obviously, losing some big names, but keeping some of the big names that are already in the squad. Kusanov being one, and Georgina, for the fans, you looked at the new contracts that have been announced, Kusanov, Gvardiol, Foden, they're almost as good as new signings, if not sometimes more important, because you're retaining the next new core of the team, so to speak.
Absolutely, Cal. I think you've hit the nail on the head there with retaining the more senior players. I'm really excited to see Phil, for example. He captained against Inter. I'm really excited to see him in a more of a leadership and senior role this season. Same with Gvardiol, to be fair. I think he has the attributes and the qualities that we do look for in a future captain. So that's really exciting to see. And Kusanov as well. I am such a Kusanov defender. I absolutely love him. I think he gets stuck in, and that's what I want out of a City defender. And I think
does he play instead of Diaz then? Because if we're looking at the balance and going, well, if we need a full-back to go and be an extra one in the middle, there's got to be something.
Someone has to
There's
give.
a tell there, isn't there? If we're saying, well, Kusanov's in that right channel.
Yes.
Does Diaz miss out?
I think it does depend on the type of game it is. I think we've seen Kusanov sometimes be a little bit hasty, a little bit rash with some big challenges, and I think that's where Diaz is better suited, but more of a calmer head, bit more control at the back. So I think it does depend on the type of game we're playing.
Another one as well, I mean, you mentioned him there, we had Gvardiol, Phil Foden as well. I'm going to ask you about this in a second, Braden, but we've got a little clip of him here. This was him speaking in the build-up to today's game.
I'm one of the last only remaining players that have been here for a long time, so yeah, I think I have to be this season one of the leaders, one of the captains in and around it for sure. So I'm looking forward to that new responsibility and trying to take leadership. I think what he wants from me though is to try and be an example to the young lads at the moment on tour. So try and train really well, keep my head down, work hard, and set a good example really to the young lads. So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do really.
It's one of our own. Braden, it doesn't need to be said how much he means to Manchester City fans. But do you think we might even see... I mean, the levels that he set, and we speak about this on the show, they're unparalleled, really. There is kind of no comparison. But, he knows Enzo from the treble season. Here they are having a little kick around here. Do you think maybe with this new leadership role as well, we're going to get to see a different side of Phil, and he could almost relish that? I mean, it sounds like he is in that interview.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not a bad game of two-touch there with Maresca. I'm watching right now. It's not bad quality, is it? No, I love Phil Foden. We all love Phil Foden as City fans. And, of course, a few couple of seasons ago, he was unbelievable when he was winning, the individual awards. And he's had a bit of a stop-start, but again, minutes as well. He didn't maybe get as minutes as he would have hoped for. As the point was made before, there was less rotation towards the end of the seasons, and he struggled to get back in the team. But I love Phil Foden, and I think, as you say, he's now hopefully going to be one of our leaders. You see, he captained the last game. And yeah, I can really see him picking those levels up again. And I think there's a bit more freedom in the roles. We've mentioned with the wingers, of course, taking on the players. But in that attacking midfield role as well, with Shirky and probably with Phil Foden as well, there's a bit more freedom for them to kind of do what they want. If they want to take a shot from outside the box, they can. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to bring for the new season. He's under a big long-term contract. So as I say, hopefully we see, well, I say improvement, just see him get back to the levels he was maybe a couple of seasons ago.
Brownie, I don't know if you remember, I'm for you, Nicky. Do you remember that moment as a player? And obviously it's crazy with Phil because he is still so young, it's worth pointing that out, but has already achieved so much in a City shirt and won so much. But to see him wearing a captain's armband, to see him actually now speaking about himself, going, no, I am one of the most experienced players, I should be a part of that leadership group, making that step up to feeling more like a senior, and does that change, your game, the way you approach it, the way you are, the way you carry yourself around the training ground? Does it kind of take you to a different level?
I think just with the experience becomes a bit of seniority. I think Ali mentioned now when about 350-ish games he's played now, which is staggering. And I think he'll always be a young lad. He'll always be a young lad to me because I was there. I think it was Feyenoord when he made his debut. And I think what could be a real benefit this year is him not going to the World Cup. So as disappointing as it was for him, we all wanted him to go there because we thought it could make a difference. There'll be no burnout. He'll be a lot fresher. He'll have had time to recharge. He'll have had a full pre-season. But, you know, a good Phil, for me, the best version of Phil Foden is, you're talking Ballon d'Or winning sort of player. He's at that level where his level is better than, you know, good international players. He is top level. He's just struggled to find that level consistently over the last few years. He started off last year really well and then for whatever reason sort of just fizzled. But it was probably 3 years ago now when he had his best season and he scored all those goals.
Yeah,
he's as good as you get. He's top European player. And he's one now that he's got that seniority, he's got more responsibility. Hopefully that then drives him on to produce better performances on a more consistent basis. But there's one thing for sure, he's a sort of key member of the new manager's team. That's for sure.
I tell you what, I was obviously pitch side with FG, and we were a couple of months in the season, and he was over, he was showboating, he was smiling, he was doing the tricks, and I thought, Phil is back. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd seen him miss out, I'd seen him spend some time at the Club World Cup or in America, and I just watched, and he's based, like, you want to see him playing football, he wants to enjoy it, he wants to play every week, and when he is, he's unstoppable. All of a sudden, something happened. Then we watched him play, his confidence wasn't there. He'd get a little bit of minutes, he wasn't in a rhythm. And then Pep thought, you know what, I'm not using you because for whatever reason between, whether it's training ground, we don't know everything about what happened, but we know he wasn't at his best when he come on the pitch. You did need more minutes to be at that. And what the manager's done, he's come in and gone, right, who could be the game changer for me?
Yeah.
Who could be a winner? Who could get something, get everyone alight? Who can do something different? It's Foden. Give him the responsibility. It's laughable, isn't it, at his age that he's like a leader, but he's become so much more game intelligent. He understands the game now, and I feel like it's a no-brainer for the manager. Get behind him, get him playing well. And by the way, I can't believe the manager took him on. He's never winning that, is he?
No.
You know, it's one thing. Right, I'll have a look around the squad and I'll go, right, 2 touch, we've got half a chance.
He soon surrendered.
I'll get in his head, and I've just gone forward and zero chance.
But
he plays it while he's sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, it's outrageous. If you ever get to come to watch a City game at home, or even if you're going to one away from home, just go and watch Phil Foden warm up with that ball. It's a joy to watch. But it is that, isn't it? And he has done it, because as you say, when he won Premier League Player of the Year, Nicky, he was winning games and being that person. But I do feel there's an energy about him now when, you know, and we've had a few of them in the past, whether it be an Aguero, Haaland's obviously got it, De Bruyne, David Silva, where they can take a game by the scruff of the neck. And I think that's the kind of, you got elite and amazing, but then there's world class.
So you remember the chairman's quote where he said, you know what, I was going down to training and he was watching him practice this drill where he lets it run across him and he puts it in the top corner. And he said, we need one of those. What did he do? He produces across and goes, right, top bin. He's like, he's in that area. Centrally, he's the master, you know, but for whatever reason, Phil's got to find it where he has to park certain games when it doesn't work and then go, right, I'm back. I am Phil Foden. Yes. I am the best. There is nobody more gifted. I know you're laughing, Brady. He is, isn't he?
Well, I think one thing he does,
he is the best.
It does better than I think anyone I've ever seen. If any young players watching him, the ball's on the end of his left foot and he doesn't look at the ball. He's looking up all the time, scanning. Before the ball comes into him, he's scanning. He's always looking to take the ball on the off turn. And when he's running with it, he doesn't look at the ball. The ball's just there like on a piece of string on the end of his foot. It's fantastic to watch.
And also, I mean, a question, Braid and Georgia, and Braid, I think you were going to say something, but not only am I excited, obviously, to see this in, but you also took in the likes of maybe a Ryan Cherky when he comes back, and we saw glimpses of it last season. You think the Rabona assist there when he crossed there on Phil's header. There's two players there that feel like if they get on the same wavelength, and we've seen glimpses of it, could be devastating for opponents.
Yeah, I mean, imagine last 10 minutes of a game and you've got to come up against Foden and Cherky. You'd be devastated. They're both brilliant players. I mean, that goal against Arsenal when we went from Cherky, where he took it through everyone and then rolled it in the corner. It's just moments of class like that. And we've seen it from Cherky and, of course, Foden, as you mentioned, when he used to just bend him in the top corner. There was that one at the Bernabeu. Must have been, 2 or 3 seasons ago now. Well, that was an unbelievable finish. But both of them, they're both incredible players. And they're similar in the way that they play as well, with the skills. And as just mentioned by Nicky, with the feet, so quick. But both of them together, Oh, I mean, don't even get me started. I'm getting excited already.
and Georgina, you mentioned it about, obviously it must be, it's exciting for us, do you know what I mean? Something new, but then for the players as well, as we've touched upon, if they're getting a bit more freedom or chance to express themselves in a different way, exciting to see what we're going to see from the players that we love and new ones that are coming in as well.
Yeah, just to touch back on Braden's point, my dad and I call Cherky Cheeky Cherky. So I think he just plays how he wants to play, and that's what's so great about him. And similar with Phil as well, I think they're both very unpredictable players in the way that they play. And I think in the past season or two, maybe we've become a little bit predictable with our play. Teams have sussed us out a bit. And those players like Phil, like Cherky, others that I can mention as well, are just a breath of fresh air, and that's what makes it so exciting watching City, and I think that's what we've been lacking last season.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Well, one player as well who's got that experience, we've mentioned him as well, as Ruben Diaz. He was alongside the player we brought back last season, Max Alain. Well, our legends and FG caught up with the two of them before the game today, so let's see how they got on and what they were chatting about.
Hello everyone, FG here, and I am in Hong Kong as part of our Asia tour. I'm joined by Max Alain, Shaun Wright-Phillips, Ruben Diaz and Scott Carson. Stop looking at my card. Ruben, we're going to be doing some trivia, and we're also going to be answering questions of fans from Hong Kong. And speaking of fans, we've got our first live audience. Make some noise, guys. There you are. We love to see it. We can do everything here. Yeah, right, okay. On the table now, you've got some questions from our fans in Hong Kong. So if you please would.
Who did you support as a kid?
I didn't actually support anybody. I just followed who my dad played for at the time. So my first team that I've actually supported is Man City.
Everyone knows who you supported, I think, as a kid, right?
Benfica.
Benfica, of course, yeah.
Carlisle.
Carlisle, nice. All right, okay, Ruben, feel free to ask Scott a question.
Scott, first impression of Ruben when he joined City?
Do I have to be nice?
I mean...
No, I think my first impression when you first came in, you were straight away you could see how professional you were, how much you wanted to improve. There was times you were a little bit busy and stuff.
I got that one. Get that one a lot.
No, I think that was the first impression, how professional you were every day in the gym. You were always in early, never late, always one of the last ones out.
Max, you got a question for both people.
Yeah. Which player or manager has influenced you?
Joe Royle was like the biggest influence on my career, because when I came through at such a young age, there wasn't many young players in that team as well, so all the other players were like 28, 29, very experienced, and he gave me the belief and the confidence to be able to step on the field and play the same way I did when I was in the academy. So for me, career-wise, I'd say Joe Royle.
Nice. Ruben?
I mean, I've been here, this is my 7th season. I've been here 6 years with Pep, so one way or the other, he ends up being him. The question is most underrated player you've played alongside.
I think that's a difficult one. I think
it's a difficult question.
I think obviously Julian Alvarez would have been one of them, because when he first came in and he wasn't really playing too much, and we were watching him in training, it was like, oh my God, this player's he's so good. His finishing, his attitude, and I think he was one that I was like so impressed with from day one when he first came in.
I think it's fair to go on Bernardo, even though there's a lot of there's a good realization of everything that he's done now, but I feel like people lacked knowing how deeply ran the influence he had on our team and on our success. So I feel like it's fair to say that in some ways and for a long time he's been underrated.
Tell us about your first team debut.
Mine was probably a bit crazy. I mean, I was at Watford and we had Holloway, and about 5 minutes before kickoff it gets cancelled, and then I wake up the next morning and I have about 10 missed calls from a random Portuguese number, and it's Hugo. So we speak and he says basically, I'll see you tomorrow. And before I knew it, it was the Tuesday night and kicked off against Brighton. It was crazy. Obviously I had no boots or anything. The kitman took them back down to Watford, so I had nothing. So I was in the Adidas shop in town buying boots. If anything, I preferred it like that. There was no time to think about it or get nervous or anything like that. It was kind of just bang, 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 and next thing that the whistle went, and yeah, enjoyed it.
Ruben, out of your 4 Premier League titles, Which one stands out the most?
I mean, the third one is the treble. The fourth one is the 4 in a row. But I feel like maybe I would go with the first one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially when you're foreign, I mean, everyone, but still, I've always had the dream to play in the Premier League. And then when it actually comes up and it happens, you have only one ambition.
Yeah.
More before, to me, more than wanting to win the Champions League or anything else, I just wanted to win the Premier League.
Simply transformational. In terms of Manchester City's defensive improvement, absolutely huge.
Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting down with 4 legends of the game. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the Asia Tour. We're off to Seoul next, just like Ruben said. I'm sure we'll catch up with some of the guys there.
Lovely stuff. We're going to get part 2 of their chat in the show on Sunday. That is, of course, when we take on Atletico Madrid in our final game of pre-season. So part 2 of that interview coming down. I'm really excited for that because you have some great insight. I mean, first of all, the standout for me, Nicky, was that Max Lane debut. That is. I'm not sure I've ever come across or known of something like that. Game cancelled and within 48 hours you're starting for Manchester City.
Like I said, that's sometimes better because you've not got time to think about it. And Brownie will tell you, making your debut, whatever level it's at, you'll never, ever forget it. You'll always be thankful for the manager for that. And you don't see many bad debuts. I think adrenaline gets a lot of people through.
Not many get sent off on the debut, do they? Apart from that, though, I love the story. He went to the shop to get boots.
In town. Amazing.
You don't need to do that now,
Also, Michael Brown,
just rings up and someone delivers them.
You started as you meant to go on, do you know what I mean? Lay out your stall. Yeah. Let them know.
But he done well, you know. He came into a team where it's really defensively struggling at the time. He stepped in and I couldn't believe how brave he was.
Yeah.
To take the ball under pressure into the middle areas. And I thought he really, really done well. He stepped up and I think he learned so much for his career going forward. I think it was a real learning curve for him, but he did well.
It was indeed. I just want to take a moment before we carry on. We're going to talk about our brand new signings in just a moment, but something really cool is happening this season. Now, you'll know one of the things we are so proud of here at Manchester City is our work with City in the community. Well, it is changing ever so slightly, and you're going to want to get involved because it is becoming the City in the Community Club. It's to help you fans get closer to the work that they do, but also have the chance as well to win some brilliant surprises while supporting the charity's work across Greater Manchester. Now, if you get a part of City in the Community Club from just £5 a month, if you subscribe for £5 a month, you're going to enjoy monthly prize draws and it will feature once-in-a-lifetime experiences, memorabilia and exclusive benefits as well. So there actually is so much you're going to get involved for that £5 throughout August. And this is just August. Prizes such as an Erling Haaland signed home shirt, 2 tickets to City versus Sunderland, a signed Nico O'Reilly home shirt, a signed Mark Gay home shirt, and they've also just recently added as a pre-season special, so only if you get involved during pre-season, you could have the chance to win a signed worn boots by Gigi Donnarumma, and that can all be yours just for £5 a month, and you'll be entered in all them draws throughout, as well as other exclusive access. And remember, that £5, it goes to supporting City in the community, do the brilliant work that they do around Greater Manchester. You can sign up there, and I think a QR code as well might pop up, but you can just go to mancity.com/CITC club, and then there'll be new prizes throughout the whole season, so make sure you get involved with that. But really, really exciting advancement and change there for City in the community. So, new signings. We've, of course, spoke about, players that have re-signed. We lost some big names, as we've mentioned, throughout. But wanted to begin, of course, with the big signing of the summer so far, Elliot Anderson. Michael Brown, I'm coming to you first, because that is, of course, your position. What is your assessment of Elliot Anderson, and what is he going to bring to this Manchester City
I thought it was these 2 new signings. That's what I thought. Like now they've signed up.
They look like our new signings.
You've got a little bit of Elliot Anderson in you,
they were the biggest signings of the season for this show, mate. For this show.
You think, Brownie? I think Braden looks a little bit like a young Elliot Anderson
there.
Elliot Anderson.
I'll take that. I'm going to go Elliot Anderson.
Every time that camera keeps going into a single, you keep doing your hair and doing your top and everything. He's having a right go. Keep saying. So Elliot, go on, mate.
I said it's not doing much. I'm not sure Elliot Anderson would take that as a compliment either. I don't think he'd be too happy with that one.
He'll be happy. But you know what? It's a really good signing. You know, you've watched them come on, watched them get better and better. the confidence to grab games, dynamic. He can break it up. He's got a bit of everything in his play, and it's not just to sit there. I don't think just as a number 6 and just to sit and wait. I think he's got much more to his game than that. I feel like he can do so much.
I think he could start the press off. He's really quick with the press.
He's aggressive, isn't he?
Really aggressive. We saw one of the goals, I think it was against Mexico, when it was him pressing that won the ball back to get a goal. Massive price tag, which you're going to play for a young English player. So, people say, is he worth that? I don't think anyone's worth that. But, you've got to play a premium and you're getting a top player. He left Newcastle under sort of funny. So they had to sell him by a certain time to Forest. And we've just seen him, like Bernie said, develop, come into a top international player now. First name on the team sheet in the World Cup. And, he's got a little bit of everything.
Yes.
He's not just pigeonholed to one position, not a 6 or an 8. He can really move around, rotate around that midfield areas. But what he does, he operates at a really high level. And his quality, his deliveries and his passes and the way he can break things up, and he's got the energy there, and we're getting him at a great age. So signed on a long contract. So next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you're going to get the best chunk of his career.
We have to give him a bit of time as well.
Of course.
I think that's the one you're going right. There's this big tag, and straight away people are going to go right. He's got to fly into the games. He's got to be controlling everything. At this team, we're still going to see, like I say, a bit of a transformation. So we've just got to bear with slightly, but it's a really top.
And also, and Georgie, I'm coming to you, but me and my brother have been saying as well, I feel like he's got the attributes of an old school English midfielder. Like a Barry or a James Milner, the way he tackles the ball. I think he led by interceptions, but his feet at times are like that of someone who came through an academy in Spain. As you were saying, technically both feet. He is that all-rounder, and I just think when you've lost the likes of like a Bernardo in that energy midfield, Georgie, I know City fans, once he was linked, it just felt like the perfect signing, the signing that we all wanted.
You took the words out of my mouth there. He does remind me a little bit of Bernardo, and I think the thing that I was most worried about with Bernardo leaving is the fact that he never stopped running Bernardo. He was constantly pressing, trying to get anything at the ball. When he's not pressing, he's constantly scanning. And I think when I was watching the World Cup and I was seeing how Anderson was playing, he really did remind me of Bernardo in that sense, where he's constantly scanning. He never stops moving. And I'm really excited to watch him, and I think he's going to be great in blue.
Yeah, Brady, do you want to add a word on Elliot Anderson?
Yeah, I think one thing that I noticed, I think his passing, his long-range passing is as good as I've seen on anybody. He switches that ball and splits the play really well. And then when we had like Gundogan, for example, Gundogan and Kovacic, they don't really give the ball away unless, they drives us forward. They'll do the little passes and they always keep the ball. They very rarely, mess up a pass. And when you watch Elliot Anderson, he's pretty similar in the way that he doesn't really give the ball away. His passing's extremely accurate and it's always the right move, forwards or just breaking the line. So I'm excited to see him in a City shirt.
Yeah, Phil Foden echoed that as well. I think he was speaking before today's game, saying that when he's watched him, he likes to find that 10. Like he said, that line-breaking pass, and for someone like Philly, he'll relish that, especially taking it on the turn as well. Another player we wanted to mention, and it might be one that maybe some fans might not be too familiar with, but Pierce Charles Nicky, and I know you've been a big fan of him. Interesting because he came through the academy, was released at 16, and we've signed him back and loaned him back out to QPR, but obviously spent time at Sheffield Wednesday as well. So yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on this keeper, because I know he's someone you rate really highly.
Yeah, I worked with Pierce from sort of being 15 to him being 19. I can't speak. I couldn't believe, first of all, Man City released him, but they make decisions at certain ages, and it was to Sheffield Wednesday's benefit. Every time Sheffield Wednesday got a new manager, I was sort of trying to push Pierce towards a new manager, and they all thought he was a bit too small. But he's someone who he's got 12 or 14 international caps now for Northern Ireland, played in some massive games, got good championship experience, is so unique as a goalkeeper. I can't speak highly enough of him, and comes from, obviously, Shea Charles' brother, who came through him as well, who's now at Southampton getting touted around for stupid money. So he comes from that background, really steady family. But yeah, in terms of his ability as a goalkeeper, he's unbelievable with the ball at his feet, the best I've ever seen. I think City have signed a real gem here. I think he's going to play at the top level. And yeah, he's gone on loan to QPR, so he'll play in the Championship this year for QPR, and then they'll reassess where he is this time next year. But yeah, I could liken him only to, it's a real I don't want to put too much pressure on him too early, but I only liken him really to David Raya because he's the same sort of profile, moves around really quick, getting involved in the build-up play. He'll almost go and play right side centre-half at times if the centre-half wants to go walkabout. So yeah, he's a unique goalkeeper. There's not many like him.
Wow.
It's all about the coaching, isn't it? Look.
Well,
this is what he's
he didn't lick it off the stone, Brownie.
Has he got the goalkeeper mentality? What is this goalkeeper mentality?
But do you know that his biggest attribute is his temperament?
What is it? Crazy like the rest of them?
No, he's really calm.
Sensible.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got a big future.
There was a point as well. I can't remember. Was there not a game as well where it was I can't remember what he said about the opposition manager. Basically said, well, I'll let you say it.
Yeah. So he made his debut against Coventry in the FA Cup, and Mark Robbins was the Coventry manager. And after the game, he said we had to change the way we played because of your goalkeeper. He's a little bit Edison-y, where it gets to the point where no one presses him because they won't get the ball off him and he'll just pick you off, and he can break lines and find the midfielders on the half turn and that sort of thing. So his game suits the higher level because of his technical attributes and the way he joins in with play. So yeah, he's a real modern goalkeeper, and I'm really excited, obviously knowing him like I do, but really interested and excited to see how he develops over the next few years.
Well, that is so exciting and wonderful praise there as well. We're excited to see how he gets out on loan. It's not long now till we wrap up, but I just need to tell you about this brand new thing. It's all new here, the new Maresca era. We've got a new stadium, we've got a new stand, a new city in the community, and also a brand new stadium tour that you're able to immerse yourself in. So you can visit areas of the stadium that are not usually available to the public using the latest technology, of course, around this VR experience. So through this brand new VR experience, you have the chance to walk out in the tunnel, sit in the seats in the dugouts and soak up views of the stadium from pitch side. So if you're able to get to Manchester, of course, come and do the stadium tour in person. But if not, our brand new VR experience is well worth a look. Now, I want to say a massive thank you to Braden and Georgina. Georgina, first time Matchday live with us as well, so thank you so much. We can't wait to have you back. Braden, we'll see you soon as well. Massive thank you, of course, to FG over in Seoul, and of course to Scott and Shaun. Thank you to Mr. Michael Brown and Nicky Weaver. That is our second game done and dusted. Now, coming up as well, we have got Atletico Madrid at the weekend on Sunday, and we've got our women's first pre-season friendly at 7 p.m. on Saturday against Fiorentina with Mike Monet. So, women's on Friday, third game of the Asia Tour on Sunday. We'll see you then, but for now, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you at the weekend.
Chance to open up, gets the shot away! What a goal from Lauren Head! Amina Mara scored, Bonnie Shaw gets her goal!
Nice, see you soon.